Hey, welcome to this episode of Southern Discomfort. I'm your host, Bobby C. We have a special co-host with us tonight and guest, but as you can see, we're in a beautiful location. We're not in a crime scene. I'm not in the middle of the woods. We're not talking about death, destruction, and gore. My guest and the subject matter tonight is actually living, which is cool because, as you know, with Southern Discomfort, when we create or recreate crime scenes, those people are no longer with us. But for the holidays, I figured, you know what? I'm going to bring one of my close friends on, do something positive. He is an up and coming country singer, even though he's been playing since probably the age of 12 and singing. He's magnificent. If you've never seen him, and I haven't mentioned his name yet, if you haven't seen him, heard from him, when I say his name and you guys see that he's playing an event, you have to go. Please go support him. Hopefully, he'll be in Nashville soon. We'll be talking about some things about that as well. But before we get started, Sean Holcomb, thanks to the show, man. Thanks to Southern Discomfort. And you're alive.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be alive on the show.
Yeah. I mean, normally, we found the shallow grave, the last scene, and or essentially the last episode, and you're actually sitting here and talking, which is cool. It's different. I mean, we could change the obvious, but I actually like him, so we're going to keep you the way you are. But before we get started, a big, huge thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
The friendship that we have and are establishing is great. You got an amazing vibe that goes with your stage presence and voice. And I met Sean, seen him twice play with a good friend of both of ours, Creed Fisher. And
shout out
to Creed, man, fellow brother. And the last time what was that? Just a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah. Just a few blocks from here.
Yeah. I'll let him explain where he lives, by the way. It's a very cool setting, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So we started talking and started communicating and BSing and led us to where we are right now. So it was his birthday not too long ago. We got some tequila. He knows that I'm a tequila guy as well. And we have him in souvenir Sean Holcomb shot glasses, which are really cool. So I'm going to give a toast to you.
Hey, thanks. I love you were talking about swag. I was like, wow.
Yes.
This is what we got to do then.
So to the holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever holiday you celebrate, to a great blossoming friendship. And I wish you the best and may God bless.
God bless you, brother. Thank you.
That's pretty smooth.
It's not bad. It was colder.
No, that's nice. Very nice. So thanks for the tequila.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to send you with those shot glasses. So
whoa!
For you. Yeah.
Cool, man. Right on the shelf when we get home.
There you go.
You heard Sean mention about swag. We were talking about what I call swag. It's merch. I know my son corrects me all the time. No, Dad, it's merch. So you picked up a guitar at 12, and it was Waylon Jennings' hand-me-down.
Yeah. Yep. That's what my dad told me.
Okay. You can tell the story from there.
No. Yeah, that's a way cooler version. I think it was my aunt's old guitar, and I started playing it like this, being left-handed, and it wasn't in tune ever. It didn't hold its tune. Also, I didn't have a tuner, so I had to tune this guitar to the radio. For a number of years, my parents finally caught on that I was not putting this out-of-tune guitar down. And when you're in a family of 8 children in a small 3-bedroom house, they had to do something. So they got me this inexpensive kind of beginner steel string guitar that was called a Palmer.
Oh, not a First Act.
No, it wasn't. Although I don't know which would have been better or worse, because that saddle, that bridge was plastic, and then by the time I got done with that guitar, the strings were about this far off the neck. But it was enough to keep me going. And actually, I saved up, got a Ovation acoustic, and I was working for my parents. So my parents owned a janitorial company. So mom homeschooled us during the day, and then dad would work. He worked for Delta Airlines for while, and he had some other day jobs. And then at night, after dinner, we'd all pile in the van and go clean offices. So working for free for mom and dad when you're old enough to push a vacuum cleaner,
Right.
I saved my money that I was making, and got that Ovation guitar they bought me, and I eventually got a Gibson SG.
Nice. That was my first electric guitar.
Dude, I got the SG Gothic when that came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and but anyways, I'm playing my first real go round and playing in public was at our church, Orlando Grace, and I played on the worship team. Started out young, and it probably took a year or two before they started actually plugging my guitar in to the sound system. So it was just kind of like, oh, let Sean have it up there. He's singing worship tunes, as long as no one can hear him. Yep.
Praise the Lord, not being plugged in.
Yeah.
Right, I got you.
Give him something to be thankful for.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, and then I got better at it along the way. And a buddy of mine, Thomas Wynn, reached out, and he was in the same little homeschool co-op that my mom was. His mom was as well. So he's like, "You want to play in my band?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Cool.
Yeah. So one of our first shows was at the Will's Pub in Orlando, the Old Wills.
The Old Wills.
The Old Wills. My dad had to drop me off because I wasn't old enough to drive. But there was quite a few of those shows where mom or dad would drop me off and having to pick me up. And 2 a.m, they're like, "You're gonna have to get one of your friends to
drive you
to
home."
do the pickup."
Exactly.
Yeah. And Thomas, they had an old station wagon, I remember, and it was an old Volvo. And Thomas would drive that thing around. I don't think he had a driver's license either. But we'd pack that up and roll out to a church and play.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So what was the first amp you played the SG out of?
Oh man, it was a Fender Champ.
Oh damn.
Yeah, Fender Champ.
Look at you.
30-watt.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
You were rocking.
Buddy, that thing plugged in and it made noise. I loved it.
And I still play out of a Fender, so yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw my hot rod.
No, I did.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
I absolutely dig it.
It's hard to play it in here.
Yeah. The acoustic though in your apartment is incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Speaking of which, as you can see, that not fake brick, and he didn't put the paper make believe brick up.
Yeah, it's an expensive backdrop.
Yeah, absolutely. This place is absolutely breathtaking. So describe where you live, because I think it's just badass.
Yeah, I think I told you this when I was talking to you a few weeks back at the Creed Fisher show. I was like, man, I could walk home from here. And you said, no kidding, where are you at? I said, I moved into an old 100-year-old church.
Yeah, this place is badass.
Right in downtown DeLand. And and so this place came up. They got their CO to actually open it up end of July. So I moved right in the day that thing opened. And I had no furniture. And then
you got badass furniture in here.
Yeah, good buddies started bringing stuff over. My buddy Brendan brought this, and this thing's older than the church.
I dig it. So downstairs, which is cool.
Yeah.
So they have apartments, and then downstairs there's a coffee shop, a bar, right?
Yep.
And wine.
Bar.
And then you said
two restaurants.
It's perfect, man.
Yeah.
Especially if you're single. I'd go downstairs and pick up my shit and come upstairs and not worry about anything. And
it's not a bad life.
The vibe in here is cool, and we like the same stuff. You're into antiques, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's another one of your vibes that I think is cool.
Well, there's something about this place too. Is like I wanted something with a lot of windows, get a lot of light in, because I figured that might help too. With writing and just And when I toured this place, I was like, man, these walls are talking. And
oh no, yeah.
And people have told me this place is haunted, and I don't know. I haven't had anything crazy move in the middle of the night.
Well, if it is, maybe they can help you with
songwriting.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. And I know you were talking earlier about the the abundance of songs that you already have that you want to get out. And by the way, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube. Where else can people?
Apple Music, yeah,
Apple
all
Music.
platforms.
And we have Sean downloaded, and he's on our rotation on the bike, so I listen to him all the time. You know, one of the things, and I think I told you, and then we'll move ahead a little bit, but so you did a mashup of a song that's so fucking incredible. So you started playing it, and I'm like, is he playing Metallica? And then you explain what you broke into, but the blend was incredible. Your fiddle player, John is so cool, man. He can absolutely play. Please don't say he's a violinist, because John will come and kick your ass. So he's a great fiddle player. He's got a great vibe and attitude too. So what made you come up with, and then you could say what song you went into, which is an absolute Nashville staple, but go ahead.
Oh, good. Well, but come up with that arrangement?
Yeah.
So it was funny because a few years back, we were asked to open up for that man. And they did a benefit for one of his childhood friends that had passed away. And they hosted it locally. And they sold like a limited number, like 500 tickets. And they asked if we would open for him. And obviously, I was like, yeah, this man's an icon.
Right.
And I grew up listening to his music. I'm like, absolutely. So we got to open for him. And we did our set. John and I played for maybe 50 people total in the crowd. And I knew it was sold out. But I'm like, man, where is everybody? We get off stage, and then he gets on stage, and he does his songs and tells us stories. And bam, 500 people, captive audience, place is packed. It was really cool. And then he got off, and I guess they had to leave pretty quickly. So he shook hands and took some pictures, and then they had somewhere to go. Because he played for free. He donated his
right. So it wasn't Metallica, so you may want to tell
So it wasn't Metallica. It was John Anderson.
There we go.
Yep, Seminole Wind.
Florida staple.
Yes, icon. Sir. Yep. And so John and I, when John Anderson left, there were still 500 people there. So we got back on stage. The owners were like, hey, can you play some more and try to keep them here? I'm like, yeah. So there's 450 some odd really confused people in that crowd trying to figure out who the hell we were. And while that man they paid good money to see just opened up for us, because our name wasn't even on the ticket. And but it was just an honor to do that. So somehow we had a buddy that was at that show who goes to a lot of shows. You know, people yell Freebird. So our buddy Kevin would always yell Slayer. And you'd be playing and he'd play Slayer. So it started with, we used to do the intro to Raining Blood. Da 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 da. You know, and then John would harmonize and we'd rock out the intro and then go into Seminole Wind.
Right.
Nobody got it except the one man that was like losing his brain in the back of the room, like they just did Raining Blood. Everyone else is like, what was that? So eventually it kind of morphed into doing the intro to Nothing Else Matters. And then, you know, a good 50% of the crowd would recognize that song. And then you go into Seminole Wind and they're like, right. Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, but the last show you played, everybody was like, because we were right up on stage and you heard everybody talking going, oh shit, that's Metallica. I didn't expect you to go in. I knew you'd go into something. I didn't expect the Seminole Winds, and I'm like, holy shit, it was perfect. I mean, it was like perfect. Right into
Thank
it.
You.
Sounded great. Man, you need to reach out to his people and say, hey, can I put this out? It was so just freaking cool. And I know when we were bullshitting, and I said to you, I'm dying to do, I'm a huge Pantera fan.
Oh,
I said, I'm dying to do Walk into something. And I only thought about that after I heard you play, and I'm like, oh man, we got to get together and play a song like that because it's just badass. I like when the crowd doesn't expect you to do what you do.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think that's part of John, my fiddle player, and sometimes violin, depending on the song. But he's been playing with me for almost a decade, full time, and so there's a constant when you're playing and you're playing and you're playing and you're doing this, mixing up the set list, bringing in different songs, you just, at a certain point, you're on autopilot.
Oh, yeah.
And you're thinking about what you have to do tomorrow, but you're playing.
Right.
And that's when it gets too familiar and you have to mix it up and do something to bring you back into what you're doing.
Right, because your practice is your show.
Basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we like to mix it up and keep ourselves on our toes. Sometimes I'll come up there and I'll play a new song that I just wrote that day. And I'll be like, I got a new one, John. Just kind of follow along, and he'll be like, okay, where are we going now?
But that's the cool thing about playing with the same person or people over years. Like we spoke about my old band, we knew in between a set or whatever, if somebody broke into something, you just knew, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because you used to playing with them, and you guys just, you gelled together, and it's like listening to a full band when you guys play, which is extremely cool. So that night, the last show you did, which was absolutely packed, and I heard so many people wanting you to go back up and play again, which was really cool. And the one thing that drew me to Sean when we were bullshitting is, so you're extremely humble. You're a super nice guy. You took your time and you hung out with your fans. You didn't leave. You didn't go home. You were still hanging out. Look, I love him, but he had the goofiest hat on in the world.
I should have brought it tonight.
You should. I have some pictures though on my website of us together with his. I don't know if it was, what was it? Was it raccoon? Was it roadkill?
I bought it at a truck stop in Colorado.
I dig it though.
Yeah, I used to ranch. I used to help run a ranch in Colorado, Southern Colorado, for a number of years, and it was called the 3R. And that was I guess they called it a trapper hat or something.
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah. So
it was cold. And it was friggin' freezing that night.
Yeah.
It was absolutely freezing. So you played the part. You look like a Lifetime movie series, but I was waiting for like a bear or some shit to come hang out with you. But it's a cool hat.
Or a short bus to come pick me up.
Yeah, but it'd have to pick us both up. So yeah, I'm good with that too. It's it was funny. Getting back to the music industry, which we both know is not an easy nut to crack, or it's just not as glorious as everybody makes it out to be. You're doing quite well as far as making a living and making something of yourself. The Florida scene, you do big events. Going to see you in Nashville real soon. Speaking of Nashville and music, my condolences to who is going to be my co-host tonight with Sean and I. Lori Allen, apologize. You lost one of your very close friends. My condolences to you. We're going to see you soon when you come back from Nashville. The three of us will sit down and grab something to eat. And you belong on a major or with a major record company. You belong out there in Nashville, and it's one of the things I dig about you is it's not today's, we're going to call it country because we can make music, but it's actually pop shit. You still got that old school with a modern twist to it, but you're definitely old school. And if you're from the South, and I understand that I don't have a Southern accent, but I've been in Florida since I'm 17. So I spent my life, I consider myself to be a Southern boy.
We'll claim you.
Yeah, you can claim me. I consider myself to be a Southern boy, and the last thing I want to hear is bubblegum country. And everybody, if you're not 14, a lot of people are getting away from that sound. If you want to see somebody who's true to the country sound and to his roots, even though he is from South Jersey, and you can tell by his accent, You want to, and the stories are great. Family and 8 siblings, and worked on on a ranch in Colorado. So somebody who can actually tell the story of being from Southern background and being that cowboy stigma that everybody wants to see when they're playing country. And with a lot of the people now, the guy playing country is from New York and New Jersey. So another thing that if you guys are into that, please check out Sean. It's really cool. So the place is cool. I dig the whole vibe of this place, and you're in walking distance of some really cool bars.
Yeah.
And you were telling me, so you have a show coming up at Tuffy's the 28th?
The 28th,
December
Tuffy's
28th.
in Sanford. When do these come out? Will that be before?
This?
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Oh, right on. Oh, dang.
I'll get you out there, brother.
Heck yeah.
Tomorrow.
Joe Rogan's got nothing on you.
Joe Rogan. No, I love Joe Rogan.
Shout out.
And we need you on the show. Love Joe.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So 28th at Tuffy's, which if anybody has never been to Tuffy's, it's an absolute great music venue. It's located in downtown Sanford. Great owners, great place. I've been there several times.
Yeah.
Is it ticket sales or what's the story? What is the event?
I think it's kind of just a party. They're throwing a thing for the locals. Yeah, so we'll be going on last, but yeah, it's a free admission. Come on, I know that room. When I played there, I did a show there with Drake White, and I think we had like 650 people in that room. So it'll fit. It'll fit. Come on.
Yeah, and not only the room, but outside that room you can hang
great.
out in what is it?
Fire pit. They got
fire pit. A
pontoon boat,
a trailer,
yeah,
right, a little trailer. It's a very cool vibe.
It's as southern as it gets.
It is as southern as it gets. And then inside they have don't they have the speakeasy, a tiki speakeasy?
The Suffering Bastard.
Bastard.
Yep, great drinks.
Yes,
great cocktails.
So that's an actual cool place as well. It's Suffering Bastard. It's called because the manager had a bad case of hemorrhoids. Decided that I'm just fucking with it. It's a great place to be. So downtown Sanford. The 28th, what time?
Doors are at 8.
Doors at 8.
Yep, or starts at 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know Dawn and I are going to be there. We're going to take some friends with us to come and hang out.
That'd be awesome.
With you, which would be really cool.
Yeah.
So like a pre-New Year's Eve party?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, we're just going to hang out and play some songs.
Very cool. You can hear some of Sean's songs also on the Southern Discomfort and Angry Beaver Cigars, our new website, our new Facebook channel, and the new podcast, which is called The Beaver's Den. I'm going to have him back on for our new podcast that's coming out, cigar based. We're going to talk everything cigars, music, and we're going to have Sean back on for that as well.
Hell yeah.
Which would be cool. So I know I had asked you prior to coming, I'm like, dude, can you do a song for us? I don't want to put you on the spot. I know it's not trying, you're on my fucking show, man. I really want to hear a song.
Yeah.
I mean, I dig, and you could, whatever you don't have to do Metallica. I mean, whatever you want to do, whatever song I like, naturally one of yours because I dig your music.
Yeah.
Old, new, I don't care.
Okay. Yeah. Let me I don't think I played this song at the last show you.
Cool. Let's hear it.
Grab it. All right.
So this is the first time anyone's going to hear it?
Unless they were at a show. Only a handful of shows I think I've played this song.
Who did you guitar? Because I dig it.
So this is
it's beautiful.
This is by my buddy RJ Colton, who used to have to fix my breed love all the time.
Right.
And he got tired of fixing my breed love, and he was like, Sean, you're going to make me just build you a guitar, aren't you?
That's beautiful.
And so he goes, I'll have it ready for you by Christmas. And a few Christmas goes by. Next Christmas goes by. It's about 3 years and some change later. I'm playing a big St. Patrick's block party, and I see in the crowd RJ, and he just goes like this.
It's absolutely
put my logo on it and everything.
Yeah, it is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I'm still waiting on my pony. I didn't get that either. So yeah, so much like the guitar story.
So I just decided this is the one I'm gonna play for you.
You drop D in it? No.
Yeah. Is this mic all right for this?
It's good. You're good, man.
Right.
You're good to go.
So you want a little backstory on this song?
Absolutely.
So I was on tour. This was last year. I was on the road for a month with a buddy of mine, Matt Woods, and I did a couple shows down southeast, and then picked him up in Knoxville, and then we went through Mississippi, Louisiana, went all around. We went through Texas, spent about two weeks in Texas alone. Did South by Southwest Music Fest, and
very cool.
hit up. We had like 12 shows in Texas, and then Oklahoma, Memphis, back, dropped them off, and then came back and played a few more shows on the way back to Florida. So, but anyways, we're driving around. I'm using my phone as GPS, trying to get to Austin. I had a buddy on the phone who I was trying to get off the phone so I could use my GPS. I'm like, oh man, better let you go. And a lot of people know people that will overuse the term long story short.
Absolutely.
And then they aren't. So a little while later, I'm sitting at our buddy's place in New Braunfels, Texas. And I was like, I think I might write a song about my life and call it Long Story Short and just see if I could keep it short. So I wrote this song, and just kind of cliff notes and weird snapshots of my life. It goes like this. Well, I've seen the Grand Ole Opry. I've danced in the rain. I heard Willie Nelson singing on the road again. I swear I saw an angel somewhere down in Statesboro. I got stranded there one night with no place to go. Sometimes I feel like a vessel lost without a port. A long story short, I found love and I lost it. I was married and divorced. Now I'm paying off my debts from the back of a horse. I passed out in Colorado. I thought I woke up in a jail. I won $50 at Holcomb, walked away and rang the bell. And I drove across this country in a 7.7 Ford. A long story short. Well, I think I'll head to Texas, maybe San Antonio. We'll see if all those West kids like any of these songs. I'm gonna give it all I got until my last breath soars. You guessed it. A long story short.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
That's fucking country, everybody. Beautiful, beautiful song. Thank God that your aunt's best friend picked up that old Waylon Jennings secondhand guitar at 12 years old, man. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, brother.
I'm not saying it because we're buddies, but if that ain't a number one song, man, I don't know what is. Absolutely beautiful.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing that song with everyone. I'm like, now I got to put that on our rotation. I don't have it, so we're have to work on that, man. We need to get that out.
We need to record that one. Yeah,
it is absolutely incredible. So that song and a Pantera matchup because But seriously, all joking aside, man, you are a star. There's nothing about you that doesn't scream that you are. You can back it off, but your picking's nice, man. I dig the guitar work, brother.
Thank you.
For somebody who is self-taught.
Yeah.
And it's funny because most of the guys that I know that are self-taught are incredible guitar players, as opposed to the guys who sat and, hey, can you read this music? No, I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue what you're putting in front of me. But if you play the song,
I can figure it out.
I'll figure it out real quick.
Well, it's because we all had to learn everything wrong.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I'm digging it.
Thank you.
Are you going to play that at the show?
I will. I surely will. I will. And you wait till you hear what John does on the.
That
one he'll say is violin. That is violin.
Song, I can hear it. I can hear it in my head already.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. We're going to be there, so you better play it.
Awesome.
So that's how it is. Thanks for joining us on Southern Discomfort on a not so gruesome episode. Thanks to my dear friend, country sensation Sean Holcomb. Sean, thank you so much. Look for him to do some amazing things in the near future. Look to see him in Nashville. I would venture to say that's going to be sooner or later. New music, right? We got new music coming out. I think he may have wrote 1 or 2 new songs. So I'm sure he could fill a catalog. We'll see that coming out as well. Yeah, quite a few. Thanks for everybody who supports Southern Discomfort. Thanks for our main sponsor. Thank you to Angry Beaver Cigars. Check us out online. Check out the Beaver's Den coming up soon as well. To all our followers out there, be blessed. Have a very Merry Christmas. Have a great holiday. And please, please don't let us have to do an episode about you. That being said, I'm Bobby C., your host for Southern Discomfort. Bob Walker, I miss you. Let's get back on track and do another episode together. I love you, brother. Brothers in blue will bleed blue together until the day we die. Love you all. Safe travels, safe holiday, and good night.